big for them. No problem is too small. Things may all be going wrong, but you can let it stop for long. The NumberJacks are on their way. The NumberJacks are on their way.
If she keeps mixing things up, anything could happen. Spooky Spoon might make the birds stop flying when they're in mid-air. She might make the dancing cow stop dancing. And then she'd just be the cow. And if you were moving house, Spooky might make the house move with you.
It's the number taker!
Be careful, Thor.
You've got to stop him taking things!
But we don't know how.
We'll think of something.
At least he's only taking one thing at a time.
If he keeps on taking things, what else might he take? We've only got one sun. What if a giant number taker took that? It would be dark everywhere. We don't want that. It would be much better if he took one cloud. We'd still have quite a few clouds left to bring us rain. And if we could get the number taker to take one raindrop, we've got so many of them we'd hardly notice one being taken. We've got to stop 1 and 0 getting together and making the number 10, or anything could happen. Instead of a monster with one head, it would have 10 heads. Or there might be 10 dancing cows. But if one sun was turned into 10 suns, it would be far too hot and everything would die.
And we've got to stop the puzzler!
If he carries on emptying things, anything could happen. Drink cartons won't be much fun. There'll be no drink inside. And balloons won't be much fun if there's no air inside them. And going to the swimming pool will be no fun at all, because there'll be no water to play in.
Six has got to bring 0 back.
Well, if he doesn't, anything could happen. 0 might make someone's clothes disappear.
0.
Or traffic lights might disappear.
0.
Or 0 might make the dancing cow spotlight disappear.
0.
Oh, and then the dancing cow stage.
We haven't stopped Spooky Spoon!
If people don't have enough time, or have too much time, anything could happen. If there was never enough time to wash your face, in the end you'd get so dirty, plants might start growing on your face. And if there was never enough time to get dressed, you'd have to go out in your pyjamas. And then, if Spooky Spoon gave you too much time outside, you'd be out there for ages and ages and get covered in snow.
Where's the number taker off to now?
If the number taker keeps on making tricky 6s, anything could happen. He might take 3 worms and 3 more worms and make a tricky 6 in someone's lunch. Or he might take 3 bears and 3 more bears and make a tricky 6 in someone's bed. Or he might take 3 sharks and 3 more sharks and make a tricky 6 in someone's bath. If the number taker starts mucking about with 2, 4, 6 and 8, anything could happen. Maybe he'd stop people using 2 hands. Or he'd stop you being 4 years old. You'd have to go straight from being 3 to being 5.
Oh.
And boxes wouldn't work because they've got 6 sides. And a spider couldn't use her 8 legs. She could only use 7 legs.
And so is the bottom of it.
If cylinders come in all these different types, there could be trouble with them anywhere. Tins of food in the supermarket have got circles at both ends. So they are cylinders that could go wrong. A drinking straw is a long, hollow cylinder. So that could be a cylinder that goes wrong. Or even a really short and fat cylinder like a cheesecake. If that goes wrong, it could be very messy. Oh dear, anything could happen. If you were playing in the park, if your friends were suddenly too far away, you couldn't play with them. Or if you were reading and your book got too close, you wouldn't be able to read it at all. Or if you were in Africa looking at a wild animal like a lion, you wouldn't want it to be too far away to see it properly. Or too close.
We've got to work it out so we can put things right.
Maybe it's the things they are holding.
On screen. What is it about these things?
Oh, I know. It's like my beautiful things.
What?
The ball and the frisbee are curvy things, and the kite and the book have got straight edges.
Great! We know what Spooky Spoon is up to.
But if she keeps on grouping things in different ways, anything could happen. Spooky might group people because of their hair. People with straight hair together. And then people with curly hair. On the road, she might group all the cars together and all the trucks together. And then into new groups. All the blue vehicles together and all the silver ones.
Useless bubbles are making everything go wild. So getting the information is impossible.
Oh dear. Without the right information, anything could happen. At the zoo, if they didn't have the right information about what animals like to eat, they might give leaves to the seals and throw fish to the giraffes. Or you might go shopping and not know what things you need and what you don't need. You might buy anything. Or people in a factory might not have the information on how to make a car and make it completely wrong. Yes, with the puzzler, anything could happen. If you had a lid on a box, it might get much too small or much too huge. Or you might put a stamp on a postcard and the stamp becomes so small the postman wouldn't see it. Or so big the postman couldn't carry it. Or you might be sticking a sticker in a book and the sticker gets tiny. Or it gets so huge it sticks you to the book.
Oh no! She should have carried on counting.
The problem blob keeps making people start counting at the beginning again. So anything could happen. If you wanted to know how many toys you'd got, 1, 2, 3, 4, if there were more toys to count, you'd go back to the beginning again. If the shepherd was counting his sheep, 1, 2, 3, if more sheep arrived, he'd count the first lot again, and the others would never get counted. If the first 1, 2, 3 tyres are ready on your racing car, you don't want to start counting again when another tyre is there. If you waste time starting again, you'll never win the race. Around, anything could go wrong with Christmas. She might change the shape of the reindeer's antlers. And then they couldn't pull Santa's sleigh. Or if Santa did arrive, the shape draper might change the chimney pot. Or, if you were pulling a cracker, it might become enormous. With an enormous bang!
The problem is too big for